3.2, using version control. So we're going to look at using version control as an undo history, splitting off branches to develop subprojects, merging code from different branches or repositories, and we're going to use Git for all of these examples because it is presently the most widely used version control system. Version control is one of the fundamental tools for most programmers. It helps us with almost every aspect of a project in one way or another. There are many version control systems, and each of them is a topic in itself. So we're going to narrow our focus and talk about how to use a few particularly useful things in the Git version control system. The first thing we need to do to use Git, after installing it of course, is to set up a folder as a Git repository. That only takes a couple of commands on the command line after we move to the folder where we want the repository. Git init and git add. Once we've initialized the repository, we add any files that we've already created to it with git add, and then we create our first save point in the code with git commit-a. In the future, if we want to add new files to the project, we should also use git add to tell Git to start tracking them. At any time we want Git to remember the current state of our project, we run git commit-a again. The nice thing about having old project states saved away is that we can go back. If we want to revert a file back to a previous state, undoing everything that we've done since that particular commit, we just use the git log command to find the identifier for that commit, and then use git checkout to undo our changes. If we later change our mind, we can redo the changes in the same way. The ability to undo on the project level is great, but even more useful is to make provisional changes to our code and then decide once the changes are done whether or not we really want them in our main branch. And that's what branches are for. We make a new branch using the git branch-t command and then switch to in and out of that branch using git checkout. Once we're in the branch, any code changes we make are associated with the branch, and when we leave the branch, they go away. Then, when we re-enter the branch, they come back. That means we can do bug fixes in our main branch while we work on our new features in their own development branches. When we're finally happy with a feature, we can merge it into the main branch. To merge code from a different branch, all we have to do is use the git merge command from the branch we're merging to, and give it the name of the branch we're merging from. If the two branches can be combined automatically, Git will do it for us. That's usually all there is to it, but sometimes there will be overlapping changes in both branches, And when that happens, Git knows it's not smart enough to handle the merge on its own. When we run git merge, notify us that there are conflicts. Then we can use git merge tool to start up an interface that lets us use our greater intelligence to resolve the conflict. Once done, we use git commit to finalize the changes. Git can do something very similar to combine code from other repositories into our own. The command for that is git pull rather than git merge. Instead of a branch name, we provide a URL or the path name to a different repository. But otherwise, it's the same. This is an incredibly useful feature because it allows us to easily collaborate with other coders, both locally and around the world. If our code is in version control, we can roll it back to any point in the history of our project. Branches give us a place to develop and debug specific features without messing up our main code. And merging gives us a way to integrate code from multiple sources, whether they be branches or other repositories. In the next video, using virtual environments to create a stable and isolated work area.